Like they're running out of cash and people have been living off their credit cards. Student loans have to be paid now. He's not getting the attention it deserves.
Oh
Didn't
yeah,
you
for
just
sure.
drop a video about that?
I did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people didn't care. But like the fact that they're going to garnish wages, people can't survive. And then they have student loans and they're going to take $500 out of their paycheck, like they're paying child support, or the people that are retired and they're going to start garnishing their social security for student loan back pay.
Yeah, that's gonna hit
That's
hard.
gonna be crazy.
I have no clue. I have no clue how that's going to impact, but that's the biggest impact that people aren't talking about right now. And if the credit, and God, you know I'm a diehard Republican, but Trump wants to see the economy crash.
Of course he does.
I firmly believe, and it's brilliant.
Trust everyone to be themselves, but trust in the fact that you can see them well. I mean, it takes too much energy to not trust someone. I mean, trust them to be them.
To be themselves.
Trust a snake to bite you. Trust a lie to laugh. Trust a thief to steal from you. Like, trust them to be them, but know them when you see them.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber died trying. You see the thumbnail. More important, you saw the clip. This is the culture of capitalism. This, I'm always caught off guard by people who believe the American dream the white way, because and even corporations do this. Like I've been talking about this for a while. Okay, people have student loan debt and it's crushing them, but somehow predominantly white America got massive credit card debt. And as a black person, sometimes you're trying to figure out how y'all get this credit card debt, because even if if we got good credit scores, they don't necessarily give us money like that. You got to be multi-millionaires, and we're not applying for credit cards like that. Just in my, that's not our thing. But y'all have this culture. Y'all forget what the culture of capitalism is. You know, it's to make you indebted. And for some odd reason, this American dream, the white way, has you thinking, oh, I can fail up. I can just, buy things on credit and credit and credit and credit and credit. And oh, I have an idea. And then boom, millions of dollars, $1 for $1 billion. No, it's not how that goes. You in debt. And then you gotta I'm trusting the society as it is, because I guess as a black man I approach it differently because I'm not white and I don't want to try to be white. So it's like I'm not going to play this game that everybody else thinks they can play, like, oh, it's going to work out for me, because I'm trying to figure this out. I'm like, okay, $80,000 car, $300,000 house, $100,000 in student loans, and you got credit cards that's $50,000. What are you doing? What are you doing? You see it time and time again with the Dave Ramsey clips. I forgot the young dude's name. I think he's in Austin, but he's all on Instagram and YouTube when he's breaking down people's financial situation. And am I talking like I'm rich? No, I'm not. But what I do have is common sense. You get what I'm saying? So hold that thought. What I'm getting at is this. He was talking about President Trump, and just this is the stupidity of it. I think Trump is gonna crash the economy, and it's brilliant. That ain't brilliant. But y'all had this mindset that, being destructive is brilliant somehow. Like, oh, we could burn it all down and it's gonna build up from the ashes and we're gonna be millionaires. No, you're gonna have ashes. That's what you're gonna have, ashes. When you burn it all down, you're gonna have ashes. Point blank, period. I don't know why y'all think what y'all smoking. I don't know if it's meth. I don't know if it's fentanyl. I don't know. It's crack. Whatever it is y'all smoking, this idea that, because it's a white ideology. We're going to burn everything down and we're just going to start from scratch. You're not going to have nothing to start from scratch with. I don't know what country you living in. I don't know what fantasy land you living in, but that's what happens when you burn everything down. You have nothing to start with. Now you got to survive until you can be figure out a way to start. Y'all are stupid. But it's the culture of capitalism, you know. And then part of this pseudo thing is, some of these people believe, oh, we could crash the economy, and then we could pull the guns out, and we're gonna have a war, and it's just gonna be, winner take all. Y'all fools with that mindset gonna get killed. Y'all, as much as y'all planning for, when shit hits the fan, and y'all got these ideas of, oh, it's the purge, and I'm gonna run out in the street, and I'm just gonna take over, and it's twisted metal, and I'm gonna put a mask on and party all night with a shotgun and a machete. No, you're gonna be a dead man 2 minutes in. Y'all stupid. Y'all are stupid. But I'm getting to the point where I understand what y'all problem is now. Because he's right. Like, people aren't talking about it because you're garnishing people's wages. Like they said, they're going to take it into Social Security. Yeah. And he looks old enough to remember when Barack Obama was president. Barack Obama had student loans when he was running for president. He had he had a book come out. He had a book that became a bestseller, and basically he used that to pay off his student loans. I think him and his wife, the Obamas, they basically used that to pay off their student loans, and they were in their 50s. So you fast forward, what, 12 years, 10 years, and people how easily people forget now. It's like, oh man, this stuff is crushing us. Yo, I knew that 10 years ago, because I remember when they was telling people, hey man, we're gonna add your student loans to your mortgage information if you try to get a house. So basically, whatever you owe in student loans, they put that in the equation to say the type of house you could afford. That was like 10 years ago, and people just was like, whatever. Now let's get into the deeper part of this conversation, because this is what a lot of people don't want to talk about the culture of capitalism. This is so bad is because we don't want to talk about this, but white people are the biggest people who don't pay back stuff. We like to play this game where the black people always are scamming and this, that, and the third. No, 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 no. Black people we don't get enough access to credit to be able to not pay stuff at these exorbitant rates. It's predominantly white people can't pay their student loans, can't pay off their credit cards. This idea, and you see it all online from people getting cars, and they want to, I don't like this car, I want to get another car, and I don't like that car, but I'm underwater in this car, but I want to get another car, and I'm underwater in those two cars, but I want to get another car. We can't do stuff like that. And now this person, got their brand new car that they're riding around with, but they didn't traded two cars in, and now they owe $30,000. Yeah, and they kept giving them these type of loans because, hey, even corporations believe, if we're doing this to white people, they're gonna have money. It's because they're white. You know, I'm white, they're white. I can get that money because we're white together. So I know somebody's gonna give them some money, and I can get that money from them then. And it's not working out that way. We talk about the inflation and the cost of living and real estate costs, but we don't talk about consumer debt. Why is there's so much consumer debt? Nobody wants to talk about it. And the reason why uh, uh, I used the DMX clip after the brother was talking is because you gotta I we trust what we see. Yeah, this was a problem a long time ago. And part of it is there'll be no social security, and you can blame the boomers. You can. But what's worse? What's worse is this is not just student loan debt. That's why I added the cars. That's why I added the credit cards. That's what some of y'all who think y'all just, some of y'all had, a lot of y'all were raised in the middle class, and when you became adults on your own, you couldn't um, lower your lifestyle because you know they took care of you a certain way. So you actually put yourself in debt because you couldn't stop the Starbucks when you were paying for it and you didn't have the money. You couldn't stop Chick-fil-A when you were, when you had, I have to have it. You couldn't stop wearing certain clothes and going to certain restaurants. And, I want to go on the trip here and trip there. That was your fault. That was your fault. So I don't want to, like me as a black person, like I said, the culture of capitalism. Yeah, man, this is sharecropping 101. Jim Crow, redlining, blockbusting, highway, I forgot, highway something act, when they ran the highways through the black business areas all across the nations to cripple black business. This is just all over again. That's all this is. That's all I see when I see, companies firing people and using AI and then I see people, even with the Make America Great Again slogan. It's like, yo, y'all don't pay people enough to make America great again. What are you talking about? Make it like it was when companies were paying. Ain't finna happen no more. Like you don't like you can't even understand your own culture of capitalism. You don't get it. You just said, we got to get rid of all these illegals and get them out of the country. You would think if you ran all those folks off, that would be a lot of jobs for Americans. But guess what? Y'all don't want to do that. No, y'all don't want to do that. No, well, we came. No, I'm not. I'm not finna be. I'm not finna be doing all this construction. Oh no, no, no. I'm not finna be doing all this farm work. Oh no, no, no. But guess what? Them student loans still calling. Them credit cards still calling. You know, people running from the repo man. We like to put that all on. Put a black face to debt, but our debt is never as big as white debt on average. If one of the old sayings is, it's easy to spend $1,000, but it's difficult to pay somebody back 1,000. You realize how much 1,000 is then, and we talking about tens of thousands. You got people who was getting these little cushy jobs at Facebook and what was that? Was it Google or I don't know if it's Google, Facebook, Instagram, Apple. It was Apple, and then they got replaced, and you had a $300,000 job, a $200,000 job, doing absolutely nothing. And even y'all in those positions wasn't planning for, man, I don't think I'm gonna have this job forever because it's too easy to be making this much money. But y'all didn't listen, and then you got those people who are unemployed. You get what I'm saying? So we knew something was wrong with the economy when America started legalizing weed everywhere. Oh, drug dealing is good now. I know why it's good because y'all ain't got no money. The American dream is dead. The white way. So what he's talking about is the truth, but the same idiotic part of the comment at the end. It's brilliant. Okay, if it's so brilliant, live with it. Live with it. Live in the consequences of that brilliant crashing of the economy. You live with it. And when all this stuff started to get repo and people started to get yanked out of their houses and stuff like that, we're gonna see. And then crime just is all everywhere. And then we're gonna go, it's your culture. And then people go, no, it's the poverty. I don't have a job. Well, we're gonna see. Because we already know how this is gonna go. But tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.